Aloha kako and good morning, everyone. This is the November 19th, 2025 Land Use Commission meeting. This is a hybrid person meeting, which is being held at the Maui Arts and Cultural Center, Haynes Meeting Room at 1 Cameron Way, Kahului, Hawaii, 96730. Is that correct? Yeah, 96730. Okay. This meeting is open to the public, and for all meeting participants, I would like to stress the importance of speaking slowly, clearly, and directly into your microphone. Before speaking, please state your name and identify yourself for the record. This is a hybrid meeting again, and please be aware that all meeting participants are being recorded on the digital record for this Zoom meeting, which will be posted on YouTube and used for court reporting purposes. Your continued participation is your implied consent to be part of the public record of this event. If you do not wish to be part of the public record, you should exit this meeting now. Please note that the Q&A feature on Zoom will only be monitored for signing up for public testimony, and all other communications will not be addressed or part of the meeting record. Communications can be emailed to the Land Use Commission office at dbedt.luc.web@hawaii.gov. We'll also share with all participants that we will take breaks from time to time, probably every 60 minutes. For the commissioners participating via Zoom, please indicate where you are attending this meeting when you're called and if there's anyone else over the age of 18 present with you. All right, my name is Brian Lee from Oahu, and I will be serving as the LUC chair today. We currently have 9 seated commissioners, and along with me today are Commissioners Ken Hayashida from Oahu and myself, Commissioner Kuikiokalani Kamakea Ohelo attending directly via Zoom, Commissioners Michael Giovanni and Commissioner Dan Giovanni, both from Kauai, Commissioners Miles Miyasato from Hawaii, and Commissioner Nancy Carr-Smith attending remotely via Zoom. Absent today is Commissioner Mel Kahele from Oahu and Commissioner Bruce U'u from Maui. So I'm going to ask Commissioner Kamakea Ohelo, is there anyone else with you today?
Aloha, Chair. Aloha, Commissioners. Aloha, Kako. There is no one else here today, and I'm attending from my home office at 41272 Huli Street, Mamanalo.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Nancy Carr-Smith, is there anyone with you in your room?
No, there isn't, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Also in attendance today is the LUC Executive Executive Officer, Daniel Ordenker, the LUC Chief Planner, Scott Derrickson, LUC Staff Planner, Martina Segura, LUC Chief Clerk, Ariana Kwan, and LUC Deputy Attorney General, John Dubiel. And again, court reporting transcriptions are being done from this Zoom recording. So we'll now proceed with agenda item number 2, docket number A25-811, Hoʻonani Development LLC in Maui. This is to consider the petitioner's motion to designate the Land Use Commission as the accepting authority for the Environmental Impact Statement, EIS, under the Hawaii Revised Statutes, Chapter 343, and for the authority to prepare an Environmental Impact Statement Preparation Notice, also known as EISPN. The parties will now identify themselves for the record. Petitioner, will you please identify yourself?
Good morning, Chair and Commissioners. Jeffrey Uyoka here for the petitioner. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Uyoka. County of Maui, please identify yourself for the record.
Aloha, good morning, Commissioners. First Deputy Corporation Counsel, Mimi Desjardins, and with me is our Planning Director, Kate Blystone.
Thank you. Office of Planning and Sustainable Development.
Good morning, Allison Kato, Deputy Attorney General for the Office of Planning and Sustainable Development. Also here are Mary Alice Evans and Rachel Beasley from OPSD. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. Good morning, Mr. Uyoka. Thank you for making your appearance. Have you reviewed Hawaii Administrative Rules Section 15-15- 45.1 regarding reimbursement of hearing expenses.
Yes, we are aware. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So in accordance with HRS 84-14, commissioners are not allowed to take any official action affecting a business in which they or a member of their family has any financial interest. They must therefore recuse themselves from this matter if there is any benefit, monetary or otherwise, to themselves or members of their family. Also, in accordance with legal ethical standards, commissioners should disclose any relationship, business, social, or otherwise, that they may have with the petitioner or its representatives or any of the other parties to this proceeding that may give rise to any allegation of bias or impropriety. Do any of the commissioners have any conflicts of interest or disclosures to make? Okay.
Oh, Mr. Chair, no disclosures, but just a correction of my name is Michael Yamani, not Michael Giovanni. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry about that. Thanks for the correction. Now, let me briefly explain the procedure for today's hearing. First, we will recognize the written public testimony that has been submitted on this matter. Next, we will call for members of the public who wish to provide oral testimony on this matter. Then the staff planner will give a briefing on the staff report that has been posted for this docket. Next, the petitioner will then be called upon to make their presentation. After that, the chair will then call on the county planning department and then OPSD for their presentation and/or comments. Next, the commissioners will then have opportunities to ask questions of the parties at the conclusion of each of their presentations. We will then reopen the floor to the public for any new and additional oral testimony on this matter. Finally, the commission will deliberate on the matter based on the testimony and the evidence presented. Now, I would like to once again remind all participants to speak slowly, clearly, and directly into their microphones. And before speaking, please state your name and identify yourself for the record. Now, this will make the transcriptions a little bit easier. This ensures that the transcriber can produce an accurate transcript of the proceedings. Are there any questions about our procedure for today? All right. So as stated on today's agenda, please be informed that the relevant documents pertaining to this matter can be accessed for review on the LUC website at luc.hawaii.gov/A25-811. We'll now recognize written public testimony submitted on this matter. Ms. Kwan, has there been any written testimony submitted on this matter?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we received one written testimony from Dick Mayer yesterday.
Thank you. Ms. Kwan, are there any members of the public that wish to testify on this matter?
Yes, Mr. Chair, Dick Mayer would like to also provide oral testimony this morning.
Okay, thank you. Professor Mayer, please state your name and zip code for the record and then proceed with your testimony after I swear you in. Okay, so Mr. Mayer, do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to...
He's being promoted to panelist
I'm
right
sorry.
now.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Professor Mayer, may I swear you in?
Yes, you please do.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth?
Yes.
Okay, so please state your name and zip code for the record and proceed with your testimony, and you will have 2 minutes.
My name is Richard Dick Mayer. I live in Kula, Maui, 96790. I was a professor for 34 years of geography here in Maui and also the vice chair for the General Plan Advisory Committee that put together the Maui Island Plan. I question whether it is wise for you, the LUC, to accept being an accepting authority for the proposed Hoʻonani development at this time. There is one major concern regarding the location of this proposed housing project directly beneath the flight path leading into and out of Kahului Airport. Before assuming LUC responsibility for being the accepting authority, please get a certification from DOT Airports Division that this location would not be in the area that is restricted from having housing residences. We do not want to put 5,000 people, the number that will be living in this project, directly under the flight path and with its concurrent noise. The noise study that was done for this area was last done in the late 1980s and early 1990s, more than 32 years ago. Even then, the land being proposed for this boundary change was already within the noise impact areas below the flight path. Since that time, there have been 3 significant changes that might affect this area even more. There are far more direct flights from Canada, the U.S. mainland, and even the interior of North America. There were no flights back then after about 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening, but now there are many, many flights up until midnight. And lastly, there was only 1 cargo plane in the old days. Now there are 5 cargo planes between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. that would go over these houses. This specific proposed site, which was reviewed by the 25-member advisory committee and the county council and the planning commission, determined that this particular area should not be included within the urban designation because of the location directly under the flight path. There are alternatives. There are numerous already fully and partially entitled lands already available in Kahului that have yet to be built upon. So therefore, my recommendation, I'm recommending to the LUC that before you take on the responsibility of being the accepting authority and before the South Dakota developer has to go through the extensive and expensive process to prepare an EIS, you ask the Hawaii Department of Transportation Airports Division to give you an assurance that it would be okay to put 1,608 houses in the location being proposed by this Hoʻonani development. If they can give you that assurance at this time, then please take on the role of accepting authority. I think that they would have to do an updated noise study, and they said that they're planning to do, and I talked to the person in charge of their planning section and said that they are planning to do a noise study, and I would take that on first, because if this area could not be, there's no sense wasting time on an EIS and delays. We need the housing very quickly, and I would hope that the money that the county is planning to spend, $35 to $45 million to provide helpful infrastructure, could be used elsewhere and get housing much more rapidly than waiting for a project that could not be built because of the flight path. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Mayer. Does anybody have any questions for the testifier? Okay, seeing none, thank you very much.
And
Well, now,
let me just add, I did provide in my written testimony a maps of the flight path and the project for you to see. Thank you.
Thank you. You'll have further opportunities later on in this project, but appreciate your testimony. We'll now like to call on Staff Planner Ms. Segura to please summarize the staff report for us and any staff concerns.
Good morning, this is Ms. Segura for the record. The staff report was posted on November 14th, which was Friday. We're going to do something different with the staff report. Scott wants to talk about the authority, so I'm going to hand it to Scott, and then he's going to pass it back, and I'm going to talk about substance. So,
Okay.
Scott, all yours.
Aloha kako. There's 2 things I wanted to cover. One is basically why are the LUC being asked to allow the applicant to go directly to an EIS? And that's based on changes that were made to the law and the rules back several years ago that actually works as a streamlining process. Normally what happens is when a project identifies that they might have environmental impacts, they do an environmental assessment. That environmental assessment usually identifies either that there are no significant impacts, and the accepting authority then issues what's called a finding of no significant impact, or they identify that, yes, there's going to be significant impacts, then the accepting authority says, okay, now you have to go and do a full EIS. There's a process, and that's what you're being asked today. The applicant has identified already, self-identified, that they believe that there's going to be significant impacts for their project. And the LUC is being asked both to be the accepting authority as well as to agree that, yes, in LUC's opinion, there are potentially significant impacts. Therefore, you're going to allow them to go directly to the EIS and not have to do an environmental assessment first. That's going to save money. That's going to save time for all concerned. So that's the crux of what is going on today, what you're being asked to do. The second thing is that there's been a early notification of what's called an intent to intervene in the process. Right now, statutorily, the only parties to this process are the applicant, the applicant who's the petitioner, the County of Maui, and the State Office of Planning and Sustainable Development. Any other entities that want to become parties that would be then given the ability to file documents, to cross-examine, and to participate in the contested case hearing would have to go through the process of being declared an intervener. There's a two-step process for the LUC. There's an early intervention notification. That doesn't give the party asking to be an intervener intervention status, party status right away. What it does is it identifies to all parties that there is another entity out there who wants to intervene and will be heard at a later time once the petition is deemed complete. But right now, that early notice of intent to intervene allows that party or that intervening entity the ability to receive directly from all the parties any filings that come in between now and the hearings. So the staff report does identify that we did get an early notice of intent to intervene, and so that's what's there. The commission is not being asked at this time to allow intervention. You just understand that there is a potential intervener down the road, and the commission will have a hearing to determine whether intervention is allowed. Yeah, and that's it for me. I'm available for questions. Otherwise, Martina can finish up with the substantive staff report.
Okay, commissioners, are there any questions for Mr. Erickson? Mr. Derrickson? Commissioner Giovanni.
Scott, thank you. This is Giovanni, Commissioner Giovanni. Thank you for your explanation of the process. One question, hypothetically, if the agency determines a FONSI based on the EA, is that determination appealable to the courts?
Yes, but that is not the process that we're going through here. We
understand.
Yeah. Yes. So a determination of a FONSI is kind of a final action, which is then appealable.
And if it is appealed, that would be an inherent delay in the process as well.
Yes.
Just hypothetical. Thank you.
Commissioner Giovanni, are you saying that if we err in going straight to an EIS and where it should have gone through an EA, that's the process you're talking about?
No, just almost the opposite. That if we take the EA as a first step and determine that there's findings of no significant impact, and that an EIS would not be necessary, that decision is appealable. And there are other projects in recent years that have gone that route and then ended up in Supreme Court for delays and killed the project. So that's the way it works.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I see. Thank you. So this is sort of just playing it safe then. Okay, thank you. Any other questions for Mr. Derrickson? Commissioners? Okay, hearing none. Ms. Segura, please continue.
Okay, so the proposed project is expected to create approximately 1,600 multifamily residential units along with retail and office and dining and open spaces. And that was kind of the trigger because it might produce population changes and include state and county funds as well as include a wastewater treatment facility. So that's why the petitioner is asking to go straight to an EIS. And their staff recommends that the Land Use Commission grant the petitioner's motion for an order to designate the commission as the accepting authority and also allow the chair as the signing authority on the order so we can expedite the order. And there's specific language on page 7 of the staff report. So that's it. Any questions?
Commissioners, are there any questions for Ms. Segura? Okay, seeing none, thank you for that very brief report. All right, now we're going to ask the County of Maui to please present your comments. Oh, I'm sorry. Petitioner, we're going to ask you to present your presentation. Can you please give us a rough estimate of how long your presentation will be?
Try to keep it 10 minutes or less.
Terrific. Thank you. Please proceed.
Thank you. Emily, can you pull up the slideshow? Good morning, everyone. So staff went over it great. So we're asking for you folks to be the accepting authority for our EIS and that we are allowed to go straight to the EIS process rather than go through the EA process first. We initially had some discussions with the Maui Planning Department and we filed the EISPN and Planning Commission was going to be the accepting authority, but we thought about it a little more together collectively, and it was kind of determined that since we were going council-initiated change in zoning, probably the DBA process would be with you guys, or not probably, it would be with you guys, so you guys would be the more appropriate accepting authority. So it's been a little complicated with the council-initiated change in zoning, but we're working through it very well with the planning department. They've been very helpful along with the county council, so we're moving forward with that process. We do believe that an EIS is warranted for this project, primarily due to its scale. It's 1,600 units with retail and some commercial. We're hoping for some hospitality at some point, but we'll need further entitlements for that than what we're requesting with the county at this time. So the determination is basically you guys can choose to move forward with it in your, I guess, knowledge and expertise to let us go straight to the EIS. And that's what we're hoping for under 11-200.1-14D. And, we do not believe that this project, while a good project, is a good candidate for a FONSI, a finding of no significant impact. It's just the scale. So we are asking that in EIS, we move forward to the EIS. So thank you. Next slide, Emily. So ultimately, we'll be coming back to you guys with a FEIS, the final EIS, and it'll need to meet these requirements of 11-200.1-28. So it'll have to be acceptable to you folks, and we'll move forward with that. So you guys we'll be in front of you a few more times for this project. So this is just the very first infant steps. So thank you. Next slide, please. Yeah. So as went over briefly by Ms. Segura, the vision for Hoʻonani Village is 1,608 multifamily rental units, commercial type uses, and open space. The idea is to create a community in this 165-acre piece. We want to provide housing, provide an opportunity for local businesses to thrive while supporting the residents in that area. And our ultimate goal is to create a place for locals in a way that works best for Maui. Next slide, please. So this is our overall general conceptual layout. We are just seeking from you guys just urban for this 165 acres. With the county, we're seeking M1 light industrial and an appropriate community plan designation. This is what we think it's going to look like, but I think as you guys all know, as time goes on, things change, something comes up. So this is a concept. It should look something like this. It'll have around 1,608 units. I'm not sure if it's going to look exactly like this in 17 years when it's fully built out. So phase one is just around 10 acres, 268 multifamily units. We really want housing to be in the first phase, and we plan on slowly working in commercial and light industrial uses as additional housing is brought online. And this is the phasing map. Sorry, it's kind of tiny, but it just shows that we're looking at 8 or 9 phases, and the first 5 all contain the housing units. And it's a little confusing, and I'm not sure if you can see it, but it says the affordable housing, and the first one is market. When we talk about affordable housing in this phasing plan, we mean LIHTC, 60% and below. Our ultimate goal is we're anticipating all of the units in here will be renting at AMI prices of 140% or lower, probably closer to 120% AMI and below. But we just put it in there 140. That's the limits of affordability per HHFDC guidelines. So the other thing too is why we want to remain flexible. If there's a huge desire of the community to move certain phases up or back, we want to be flexible and be able to do that to respond to community desires and market forces at play. Next slide, please, Emily. So some of the features, we're looking at studios, 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms, probably more 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms. Average square footage to be around 750 square feet. The mix within each phase will, again, be based on market conditions and what people want at the time. Our goal is always going to be to produce some place that people want to live, some place that people want to visit. So we're not trying to get away with anything or sneak something through. We have to have a product that people want to enjoy. So parking will be there, laundry facilities on site. Water use, we're looking at 925,000 gallons per day at full build out of 1,608. If we end up building our own wastewater reclamation facility, which is probably it would be one of the triggers for the Chapter 343, we're anticipating to get around 680,000 gallons per day of R1 to reuse within the project or on neighboring properties. However, if at all possible, we would love to connect to the county's existing wastewater treatment facility. We believe that would bring down costs for ongoing costs for the residents of the property. If you just can connect to county sewer, it's usually cheaper. We're going to do a walkable neighborhood. We've been in discussions with the planning department and other people about the transit oriented design. So we're looking forward to working with them as we get a little closer on things that work and make sense for the community. PV, we want to try it, but it's expensive. We hope we can work it in, but we'd like to, but we're not going to promise it because we're not sure if it'll pencil. County Park, we're putting 1,600 acres on to 165 acres with a lot of open space in between. We're hoping we wouldn't put in a big park just in the middle of that, just for the sake of it, because there's a lot of open space and there are other community parks in the proximity of the place. And we do have some extra land that's for civic uses, and we're hoping to give the land to the county so the county can build a community center. We're not volunteering to build it. We would donate the land and they could use it for that purpose. Next slide, please. So this is the existing state land use district map. So as you can see like all of Kahului, I guess on the side of Kuhilani Highway and Derry Road. It's all urban. And then right behind us is the Maui Business Park Phase 2. So we're next to it, adjacent. And on the left of us is the existing Punene Mill and MEO's, I guess it's their bus yard. And then you can see there's some Mahi Pono packing stuff a little bit to the bottom of the screen. So we kind of feel that this would, fill in a puka over there. The history of it is Punene was one of the bigger towns on Maui back in the plantation days. So we're hoping just to bring housing back there. Next slide, please. So this is kind of a school and park map layout. So nothing right there, but probably like a 5-minute drive away to a lot of these places. And again, there will be a lot of open space within Hoʻonani Village for, the people to recreate in. Next slide, please. So this is our estimated timeline. We're expecting, and this is a little aggressive, 17 years to full build out. We're hoping that in about a year, phase 1 can be designed. We go in for building permits and we get those in a year. And then in about another year and a half, so middle of 2029, we can have the first set phase 1 of 268 units built. We are going to be coming to the county and you folks again for a 201 each to fast track the initial development. We're still working out internally how much we want to ask for in that 201 each, but it's going to be more than 15 acres, so it'll come back to you folks for the 201 each determination. It's just about speed. We're trying to move quick and get something built as fast as we can. Next slide, please. So we put this slide together, we went through it, and there's a lot of regulations for any construction. So please rest assured that even after we get approvals from, the county council, you folks, there's going to be a lot of things we have to meet and a lot of requirements and permits we have to get. And I know I'm going to ask, I was already told, made it very clear by staff that it doesn't work that way, but if there's anything you guys can do to help us have the EIS accepting authority and the DBA kind of heard closer together, if at all possible, or reviewed simultaneously or something, we'd really appreciate that. Again, all about speed, but at the same time, if it's too much humbug, we get it. We'd like to see it move forward, but we understand there are rules and precautions in place. So thank you very much. Next slide, please. So again, the land use history of the area was part of the Punene Mill area, and there were tons of plantation camps in that area, probably one of the older forms of workforce housing in Hawaii. So we're hoping to bring that back in a sense. And, it's been fallow since A&B shut down in, I believe, around 2016. Next slide, please. So we do anticipate that there will be some positive secondary impacts. It'll provide housing. It's going to take fallow land and repurpose it and use it for something useful and positive. Currently, there's a lot of homeless activity in the area, and we're hoping by bringing in some, new development with houses and, it'll be a nicer area, maybe clean it up a bit. That's our hope. The project will require some traffic mitigation, and that'll probably help to improve Pulehu and Hanson roads. So we believe there will be some positive secondary impacts. Next slide, please, Emily. So, and we know there's going to be certain secondary impacts that will require mitigation. Like I mentioned, traffic. It's going to increase traffic, but at the same time, we'll have to mitigate it, improving the surrounding roads. So I believe it cuts both ways there. Another thing too is we're not anticipating all 1,600 units will be filled by newcomers to Maui. We're thinking we're hoping it's going to be primarily Maui folks just relocating from another area. So there might be some traffic increase specifically in this area, but there might be some reductions in other areas. So we're hopeful on that. And, we'll study everything with our consultants and report back to you guys and come in with mitigations. Next slide, please. So Honua Consulting did a archaeological literature review initially. She said it looks good at this point. We feel positive, but as we move forward, still work with OHA and SHPD. Next slide, please. So again, traffic, we're very conscious of it. Everyone is. But we're going to try and make it pedestrian friendly. But as we move forward, we will work with Public Works here in Maui and State DOT. Next slide, please. So we don't feel this will be a huge impact on agriculture. Our understanding is at least 90% of Maui is already in agri conservation. And this 166.5 acre parcel will just reduce farmland by like 0.23%. And again, it's currently fallow. So, and we're not IAL, by the way. That's huge in this area too, not IAL. Water, we're currently working with a neighboring landowner to utilize an existing well. There's a lot of future steps, but we do want to work with the Department of Water Supply on that. We'd love to construct the system and then dedicate it over to the county in a partnership. Just, water should be run by the county. We feel it would help the central Maui water system. So we're in discussions with them. We still will need, to consult with DOH, CWRM, and DWS further. I discussed it already. Sewer. Our goal is to connect to the existing Honolulu wastewater treatment facility. Additional capacity should open up when they get the new central Maui wastewater facility open. But if that's infeasible, we are prepared to build a small wastewater reclamation facility on site, and we'd like to reuse the effluent. Next slide, please. So environmentally sensitive areas, none on site. Next slide, please. Topo, it's pretty flat, so should make construction a little simpler, we hope. And flora fauna, again, nothing on site that was found significant. Next slide, please. Phase 1 environmental was done. Basically, they gave us the all clear to move forward. There was some soil sampling was done, and it was okay too. Next slide, please. Oh, that's it. Thank you. I think that was under 10 minutes, not sure.
Thank you for your concise presentation, Mr. Uyoka. Commissioners, any questions for the petitioner? Anyone online? I see none. Oh, Commissioner Yamani.
Hi, thank you, Mr. Uyoka. Do you have a time frame for the final EIS to the land use and DBA submittal?
So to start this whole process, we submitted a petition. It was deemed incomplete as it did not have the accepted EIS. We're hoping that if everything goes smoothly, that we can be in front of you guys again late next year. And another favor to ask, there's a posting for the environmental state notice that's in like a couple weeks. So we were really hoping to get our EISPN into that one. And we've been working with staff. They've been great, but just asking you folks too. So your staff's been great about it. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from the commissioners? Commissioner Giovanni.
Thank you, Chair. You have a consultant for the EIS?
PDG is online. That's Emily. Their company's helping us with the EIS.
Say that again slowly.
Oh, PDG.
Thank you.
Commissioners, any further questions? Anyone online? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to ask, do you have an estimated project value for the entire project?
We're expecting the cost to be really high. Like, we're anticipating like at least 150 million per phase for the construction of the housing. So hundreds of millions, and it's all said and done, maybe $1 billion.
Okay, so there's what, 6, 7 phases?
9 phases, 6 with housing.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we're gonna take a 10-minute recess. Thank you. All right, we're back in session. Okay, so now we're gonna go with the County of Maui to present your comments.
Okay, thank you, Commissioners. Mimi Desjardins, Corporation Counsel. I believe that the Planning Department has submitted no opposition to you folks being the accepting authority for the EIS. But along the lines of Mr. Mayor's comments, I would ask you to consider a couple of things and maybe confer with your attorney as to whether you can do these or not. I'm not sure, but it seems to me that I didn't see in the slide presentation from the petitioner anything specific about conferring with the Department of Transportation on the noise level. I did see a comment about possible noise permits if applicable, but I would ask you to consider either conditioning acceptance, being the accepting authority on there being either a preliminary report, noise report, before entertaining whether to accept. But if that's going to delay things unnecessarily, which it might, you could also consider as a condition of the acceptance that there be a full and complete study, noise study. I suspect that they're anticipating that already because the only testimony I've heard about this project has been concerns about noise levels. So I would ask you to consider that. But other than that, I believe the planning department has no opposition to you folks taking control of the EIS. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Deputy, Madam Corp Counsel. Commissioners, do you have any questions for Maui County? Okay. Oh, yes, go ahead, petitioner.
Oh, thank Jeff Uyoka. Just when we sent out our first EISPN, we did get a comment letter from Hawaii Department of Transportation Airports. So that was indicative. They told us about the noise levels and everything. We subsequently hired a noise consultant and they gave us some recommendations on building materials to get under those noise levels. I believe we are not in the 65 dB or higher area noise contour, but we will comply with and design and keep working with our professional consultants as we move forward. And it will be part of the FEIS. So we hope you can agree to be the accepting authority today. But thank you very much, Ms. Desjardins, for bringing that up. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Uyoka. Ms. Desjardins, do you have any follow-up questions or comments?
Thank you, Chair. No, but I think we've all done enough of these to know that if it's not done as absolutely thorough as the public is going to require for this project to get any kind of approval, may as well do it up front if you want to save time. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. And I see the petitioner nodding, so.
Yeah, we just hope you guys can get through this accepting authority process, and we will do that as before the acceptance, of course. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners, any final questions for Maui County? Okay, anything online? Seeing none. All right, then we're going to go to the Office of Planning and Sustainable Development to present your comments.
Allison Kato, for the Office of Planning and Sustainable Development. Your OPSD has no objection to this motion. It appears appropriate for LUC to be accepting authority. It's clear that an EIS is likely required, and we have no other comments to add to that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kato. Commissioners, any questions for OPSD? Okay, I see none. Okay, we're now going to go once again to public testimony. Is there any member of the public who wishes to provide new or additional testimony on this matter? Ms. Kwan?
Seeing none in the Q&A feature, Chair.
Okay, and I don't see anyone here present in the room. So we'll now conduct formal deliberations. We will note for the parties.
Chair.
Yes.
Dick Mayer has indicated he would like to give testimony.
Okay.
I just need to re-promote him.
Okay, Professor Mayer, please once again state your name and zip code, and remember you are under oath, and you have 2 minutes.
Thank you. Will I be able to share a screen?
Let me ask the clerk.
No, we would ask you to submit it via email and then we could post it as testimony after this meeting.
Okay. I was going to show what I had mentioned earlier about this particular project. The applicant just mentioned that within the 65 number, this area was indicated being within the 65 back in 1992 when the studies were done, noise studies. And so it is something that was already 32 years ago, and I mentioned all of the factors that have increased the potential for noise in that area. There's one on the other side. Some of the planes that now fly are quieter than they were back then. So the question will be whether the Airports Division can certify that this area is an area that potentially could have housing. One of the FAA requirements is that there not be residential areas in an area that has these sound levels. So the question is how high are the sound levels and whether it would be appropriate to put 1,608 housing units in that area. The graphic I wanted to show, I can't quite do it that quickly to you, would show exactly the map that was done back then that would show that. But I will forward that map to you, and then you'll see and have that map after I finish my oral testimony. Thank you very much. I appreciate the county picking up on that issue and mentioning it as well as a concern, because the slideshow that was presented by the applicant made no mention of the airport at all. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Meyer. Appreciate your testimony, and we look forward to your submittals. All right. Are there any questions from the commissioners for Professor Meyer? Okay, seeing none. Thank you very much. So the commission will now conduct formal deliberations. We will note for the parties and the public that during the commission's deliberations, we will not entertain additional input from the parties or the public unless those individuals or entities are specifically requested to do so by the chair. If called upon, we will ask that any comments be limited to the question at hand. So for now, commissioners, let me confirm that each of you has reviewed the record and is prepared to deliberate on this matter. And after I call your name, will you please signify with either an aye or a nay that you are prepared to deliberate on this matter? Commissioner Hayashida.
Aye.
Commissioner Kamakea Ohelo.
Aye.
Commissioner Yamane.
Aye.
Commissioner Giovanni.
Aye.
Commissioner Miyasato.
Aye.
And Commissioner Carr Smith.
Aye.
And I am also prepared, Brian Lee, to deliberate on this matter. So commissioners, we will now entertain a motion that the Land Use Commission accepts or rejects the petitioner's motion to designate the LUC as accepting authority for the EIS and for authority to prepare an EIS preparation notice. So, and the motion should also state the reasons for acceptance or non-acceptance. And also the motion includes determining that an EIS is likely to be required, as well as allowing the chair or presiding officer to sign the order for the commission. Is there such a motion?
So moved, Chair.
It's been moved by Commissioner Carr Smith. Is there a second?
Commissioner Hayashida, second.
Commissioner Hayashida seconds the motion. Is there any discussion on this motion? Okay, if there is no discussion, Mr. Ordenker, can you please conduct a roll call vote of the commissioners?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The motion is to grant the petitioner's request for an order to designate the commission as the accepting authority for the EIS, and that an EIS is likely to be required, and to authorize the petitioner to prepare an EISPN and allow the chair to sign the order granting the motion. Commissioner Carr Smith.
Aye.
Commissioner Hayashida.
Aye.
Commissioner Miyasato.
Aye.
Commissioner Kahele is excused. Commissioner Kamakeo, hello.
Aye.
Commissioner Uu is excused. Commissioner Giovanni.
Aye.
Commissioner Yamane.
Aye.
Chair Lee.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The motion passes unanimously.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ordenker. Thank you, parties. Thank you, County of Maui and Office of Planning and Sustainable Development. Appreciate all of your time here. Okay, the next agenda item is item number 3. The next agenda item is a discussion on the status of amendments to Hawaii's Administrative Rules, Title 15, Chapter 15, LUC Rules. We will now recognize any written public testimony submitted in this matter. Ms. Kwan, has there been any written testimony submitted on this matter?
No, Mr. Chair.
Ms. Kwan, are there any members of the public that wishes to testify on this matter?
Seeing none in the Q&A feature.
Thank you, Ms. Kwan. Mr. Ordenker, will you please provide us your update?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. If you recall from previous discussions on this matter, we had withdrawn the rules pending further discussion with the Office of Planning and Sustainable Development. We anticipate, well, actually, I believe that Mr. Leo Asuncion started yesterday as the Land Use Division Director. And with that appointment, we will begin to move forward with working with OPSD on whatever rule amendments we think are necessary along with them. Unfortunately, one of the things that has occurred in the interim is that the governor's office has changed its directive with regard to rule promulgation, and we are prohibited from doing rulemaking during the legislative session. I don't know exactly what that means, whether that means we can't talk to anybody about it or whether we can get all our processes done except for promulgation. But we will be talking with the Attorney General about the limitations on our capabilities. But now that there is a new LUD director, we feel we're able, even with the governor's directive, to discuss that because it's essentially internal. So our next steps will be working with OPSD to come up with a draft of the rules.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ordenker. Commissioners, do you have any questions for the executive officer? All right, seeing none. Thank you. Once again, we're going to ask if any members of the public wish to provide any new or additional testimony on this agenda item. If so, please let the chief clerk know now. Ms. Kwan, is there any member of the public who wishes to provide new testimony on this matter?
Seeing none, Chair.
Okay, thank you. We'll now move on to agenda item number 4. This next agenda item is the adoption of the October 22nd, 2025 minutes. Ms. Kwan, has there been any written testimony submitted on these minutes?
No, Mr. Chair.
Are there any members of the public who signed up to testify on the adoption of the October 22nd minutes?
Seeing none in the Q&A feature, Chair.
All right, commissioners, are there any corrections or comments on the minutes? Commissioner Giovanni.
Commissioner Giovanni was absent from the meeting, and I'll recuse myself from voting on this item.
Thank you, Commissioner Giovanni.
Chair.
Yes,
I was
Commissioner
also
Miyasato.
absent.
So, okay, thank you, Commissioner Miyasato. All right, if there is no other comments from the commissioners, is there a motion now to adopt the October 22nd minutes?
Commissioner Hayashida, motion to adopt.
Commissioner Hayashida has moved to adopt the October 22nd minutes. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion, Chair.
The motion has been seconded by Commissioner Carr Smith. Are there any objections to the adoption of the minutes? If not, we have unanimous consent and the motion to adopt the minutes is approved. All right, thank you, everyone. The next agenda item is agenda item number 5 on the tentative meeting schedule. Mr. Odenker, can you please give us an update?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On December 3rd, we will be in Kona for the University of Nations Kona Matter. In January 7th, we will, tentative, we have scheduled, a, updated commissioner training. That is still tentative pending discussion with the chair. On February 12th, we have tentatively scheduled the Honaipu Hideaway matter. It's been remanded back to the LUC, as you are aware. But that is pending our working out the attendance of the Attorney General. That date may change. And that is as far as the calendar goes right now.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Odenker. Commissioners, do you have any questions on the tentative schedule? Okay, seeing none. All right, I'll announce that the next Land Use Commission meeting is scheduled for December 3rd, 2025, and will be held in Kona. And due to the location of the meeting facilities and the demanding schedule we're required to complete LUC business, we would like to request that meals be provided as a working lunch and as an integral part of the meeting. So, Mr. Odenker, would the LUC staff please make the necessary arrangements for this working lunch?
We will be sure to do so, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Before we adjourn, I have a couple of announcements.
Oh, yes, please proceed.
We are, one of the functions of the Land Use Commission is to do boundary interpretations. And the person who was doing that for the past 30 plus years, a gentleman by the name of Fred Talon, who you've never seen at these meetings because he doesn't have any function with the hearings, is retiring. And we want to thank him for his service. And we appreciate everything he's done for the commission over the past several years. And Fred has been a, should we say, a welcome member of the group, and has been a lot of fun to have around, and we will miss him and we appreciate it. The flip side of that is that when Fred was hired back almost 40 years ago, he was hired as a drafting technician, which back in those days you were drawing lines on a map with a pencil and so forth and so on. Everything has moved over to GIS, and as a result, a significant amount of technical skill is required now to do boundary interpretation. So we will be looking at how we can somehow find someone who has more technical skills to do Fred's job.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions?
When's Fred's last day?
The end of this month.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions? Any final questions for Mr. Odenker? Okay, if not, the next agenda item, number 6, is for our adjournment. Now, this will conclude our meeting. Is there any further business to discuss? Okay, hearing none, this meeting is now adjourned. Mahalo, everyone, and safe travels.